Hey guys and gals, thanks for joining in today for another Lewis County Outdoor Adventures. The reason I started this channel was just to get out there, and for you of those who don't get out and enjoy the outdoors, maybe to motivate you, to bring some safety and education to those who don't have as many resources as we do, and just to share our life with you guys. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about concealed carried weapons, what I carry every day, a little bit of a breakdown review on it. So today we're going to start out with the Taurus PT-111 G2. This is a 9mm. They offer this 40 caliber. They also offer it here in the 9. All black, or they offered it with a polished feed. So when I went into the store to buy this gun, they had an all black 9 and they had a polished slide 40. Now, just wasn't my preference to have that polished slide. It wasn't really kicking out at me. This all black really was like, man, that's nice. I liked it. So I ended up going with the 9. Now today I went back to the same sports store, and you cannot get those guns. They don't have them. And for whatever reason, they're not manufacturing them. They're not retailing them. I was really disappointed because I was really hoping to have a matching set of G2s, because after buying this and owning it and putting about 550 rounds through it, putting it through a stress test, after reading all the reviews and videos on YouTube on how this gun handles the problems that you guys have had with it, I just absolutely love this gun. I've had Washington State Patrol ask me off record about the gun, how I liked it, if I had shot it a lot. I've had a lot of buddies who carry Rugers, XDs, Glocks. They all like it too. They like how it feels in their hands. None of them have had anything bad to say about it. I've had to kind of convince a couple of my friends to actually shoot this thing, and they're like, all right, and then they shoot it and they're like, oh, I love it, you know. I think I might have to go and pick me one of those things up. Well, when got out, people pick these things up, and they're not on the shelves right now. Hopefully Taurus brings them back around, if not something even better. So a little bit of a breakdown for this thing. Cabela's had this $199 on sale. I paid $284 out the door with a 50 round box of ammunition. I got the gun, 2 12 round magazines, double stacked magazines. A lot of the issues that I've heard from you guys is that this gun happens to make a lot of noise when you're trying to conceal it. From the clip. Okay, it makes a little bit of noise, but not a whole lot of noise. Not enough for me to care. I've seen you guys go and take an O-ring from your hardware store and slip it over here, right around this seat of the end of your clip here. That way when you're putting it in, that it's seating really tight and not getting this little bit of wiggle. Okay, I don't believe that you guys should be doing that. Just my personal opinion. I've had no problems with this gun jamming up yet, even with cheap ammunition, and I believe that if Taurus thought that that was going to be a serious issue, that they would have done that. It's a really cheap, simple fix from what you guys are saying. So aside from that, this thing breaks down like a Glock. So in the owner's manual, when you buy the gun, it tells you to pull your slide back a quarter of the way, pull your drop pins down, one on each side, and to release. That doesn't work. The slide's not coming off. All right, now thank you to you guys here on the internet and YouTube. I was able to find a video that, like that, you pull the trigger and voila, this thing comes right off. All right, so again, pull your slide back just a quarter of the way, pull your drop pins straight down, both of them consecutively, pull the trigger, make sure that this thing's unloaded at all times, double make sure before you pull that trigger, and your slide will come right off. So it goes right back together. You line up your slide, voila, ready to rock and roll. Huge feature on this gun. I'm not a gunsmith. I don't know how to break down and tear apart a lot of other guns. That's going to be later in this video. I'm going to be asking you guys a little bit about something. So this gun here, with the simplicity of pulling drop pins down after pulling your slide back a little bit, pulling the trigger, and it just breaking down like that, for me to, you know, nicely clean the inside and oil things, I really like that about this gun. Another thing I like about this gun is that it has the loaded when indicator is up. So this little bar right here, when there's a chambered round, it just is raised just slightly. Now, it doesn't raise enough in order to get into the way of your sights. You don't really notice it when you're looking down your sights. A lot of you guys don't like that feature on there. I like it because not only for a beginner's gun, maybe you're teaching your wife or your girlfriend or just a new shooter, it's a nice safety feature. It's a huge safety feature. There's adjustable rear sights, side to side, removable front sight. There's a trigger safety on here. So you have to squeeze this portion in order to pull the whole entire trigger back. If you were to try to pull the trigger back without that, it only goes right there. With a full trigger squeeze, you're all the way back. All right. So another thing I like about this gun is the manual safety. I never carry usually with one in the chamber just because I don't trust any gun to ever fail. And I take pride in my life and others around me. Manual safety allows this slide to not come back. When it's in my pocket or in my jeans or wherever I'm carrying this, and I have a loaded magazine in there, and everyone that knows me knows this, is that there's never a round in this gun, and there's never a possibility of it accidentally going off, because I always have this manual safety on, and my slide cannot come back and load a round unless I take that off and were to load one and pull the slide back. Just personal preference. I've heard a lot of guys don't like this manual safety. It gets hung up on concealment. It gets hung up on pulling out of your holster. It's just a nuisance having to turn it on and off if you don't use it. It's just there. All right. It's really not, again, it's really not in the way of anything. Your slide lock is actually larger than this safety. The safety is longer, but this slide lock actually sticks out a little bit further there. So another great feature on this gun, polished feed tube in there. All right, on the end of the barrel. Lot of economical cheap guns, whatever you would like to call it, aren't going to have a polished feed tube. So this thing is not jamming up, it's loading properly, it's ejecting properly, and I believe one of the main reasons right there, polished feed tube. So again, Millennium Gen 2 PT111 Taurus, less than $300 out the door. It has double action on it, so a lot of guys are complaining about that trigger pull right there. So it's a pretty long, hard, difficult squeeze for some. Alright, But right there with your return. Okay, so that first initial fire, yeah, you got a pretty long pole, but right there, just nothing for your return. All right, now that's shorter than my buddy's Ruger LC9S. That's shorter than his XD. All right, I don't know what it is up compared to a whole bunch of other guns, but I really like that. I can get used to this one long firm pull in order to return with just about nothing. So I have 11 rounds now. Boom, 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 right there underneath my finger. And again, I can put 10 rounds into a 1 to 3 inch grouping from anywhere between 15 to 50 yards all day long with this gun. It sometimes shoots to the left. The more that I've shot it, I've noticed that it shoots to the left a little bit, but hey, 1 round to the left and 11 straight down the middle into the pipe, I'm not complaining. Okay, this gun is gonna do the job. If you guys can find one of these, I would suggest to pick it up, get your hands on it while you can. All black, polished feed, whatever. Do what you gotta do to get onto it, because there's a ton of aftermarket options for these things. One of the things that I've heard from a lot of you guys also is this being polymer or plastic or whatever it is, you guys have had issues with it. Taurus went and flattened the seats of the springs versus the first generation. So they were having problems with these two springs overlapping and having no recoil, and the gun just not working after that. Well, and then you guys were saying that you guys were sending your parts in and you weren't getting parts back for weeks and months. And who wants to go without their gun for a day? So I agree with you guys there. Taurus, you guys, stepped it up by fixing this problem. I've yet to have an issue with this. So you can replace these though with titanium pieces. There's people that are out there machining these pieces for these guns. You can buy new sights for these things. You can buy fiber optic sights for these. They sell them manufactured for this gun. You can buy new barrels for them. And I mean, there's just a ton of stuff that you guys can do to these things right out of the box. They're great though, without having to put any additional money into it. Not a lot of concealed carry have this spot for an attachment. It's pretty short. It's only about an inch right here, maybe about an inch and a half, but it is still a great spot to put a tactical light or a laser, your choice. There are a couple companies that are out there that do make them specific for the 111. You just have to do a little bit of soul searching out there on the web. So I don't think that there's anything else that I can think of about this that I love. I've carried it every day since I've bought it for about a year now. And I've carried it mushroom picking out in the wet, tromping through the forest, dragging it across brush. It's gotten muddy. I've dropped it in the mud before. In fact, when I did that, I picked it up and just emptied my clip. One, I didn't want my ammunition getting wet and nasty, and just to see if it would do it. So it's got some scratches and wear and tear on here now a little bit from concealing it. Great gun, great gun. Really like it. So this gun here is an undercover 38 special Charter Arms. I believe this gun's from late 70s, early 80s. I could be mistaken, but it's definitely had its day of use. and it's been sitting in the safe for 10 years now because a buddy of mine tore this piece apart to clean it and took that screw out right there, if you can see that, pulled that all out of there and said that there's a spring in there, and he wasn't so sure if he got it back in there correctly or not. Least to say, looks like it works properly until that happens. Right now, when I was pulling the trigger all those times, you guys are thinking, oh my goodness, you could be firing that thing. Well, even if there was 6 rounds in this, it wouldn't have fired them. For what reason, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you guys. Now that just fell. All right. Normally it gets locked up like that right there, where you can push this thing forward, back and forth. You can try and move the drum. You can try and pull the trigger. It just gets locked up. Eventually you can wiggle this thing loose. But you really gotta push that forward, pull the trigger, you know, do some working around it to get it unlocked. Excuse me. I don't know. I haven't done anything on this. So if you guys know anything about this, it's a 38 special undercover USA Charter Arms. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it, comment below. If you guys have any tips or any other things to say about the Taurus PT 111 G2, I'm really looking forward to tearing into this gun and getting to know it just as well. Seems like it's going to be a really super fun gun. If you guys have the chance to pick up one of these guns, go ahead and do it. Carry it, shoot it. They're awesome. If you guys know anyone with a 40, send me a message and I'll pay for the FFL transfer and buy it off of you, because I would love to have one of these 40 caliber Taurus PT 111 G2s. I'd love to have an all black one, matching set. If not, polished feed. I'll take what I can get. No complainers here. So thank you again for joining in with another episode of Lewis County Outdoor Adventures. If you guys have any ideas on videos that you guys would like to see, comment or private message me. You can find a link in my page to my Facebook page, or you guys can private message me here on the tube. So thanks again. Have a great day. God bless America.